Oh no, I'm aware the tournament just finished and I just won, the queen, of course. But I'm still gonna be doing this just because I think it's fun and I wanna see where it ends up. And so, gonna be moving on to the third bracket. I know I put a warning last time for Persona 3, but this one needs one for 3, 4, and 5. Like, seriously, do not watch this video if you haven't played it. Like, it's just not worth it, man. Like, again, like, it's not worth it. I wouldn't lie to you. I want you to watch the video, but at the same time, I want you to experience these games without any spoilers. Just letting you know. Okay, here we go. So first on the list, we got Femc versus Adachi. I actually don't know much about Femc. I think she's like the opposite of her male counterpart, where she's like super upbeat, I think she's supposed to be. I don't know. For this one, Adachi kind of just wins right off the bat just because he's a psycho, but in like a cool way. But also not cool way, because I guess he murders people. And so, I'm gonna have to go with Adachi for this one, just because I actually at least know him. And I kind of like him. So yeah, let's move on. Next we got Eikichi versus Ryoji. I don't know who Eikichi is. Ryoji wins. Next we got Igor versus Jin. We are just gonna cruise by these matches, aren't we? Straight up pussy versus big nose daddy? Definitely Igor. Let's just move on. Now we got Eri versus Marie. So Eri, being a confidant in the Persona 4 series, is one I actually didn't complete. She's actually really boring. I never found the time to make for her to finish. Like, I never prioritized her confidant. Marie is also really boring, but at least I finished her confidant, and she had some role in the game. Marie wins by default. Let's just move on. Now we got Naoya versus Katsuya. Bro, this is the most ass bracket. I don't know anyone, or they're all boring. I don't know them. Let's go Katsuya. He wins. Good job, buddy. Oh, okay. So now we got Takaya and Caroline and Justine. I like how they put Caroline and Justine in both one character. You know what? Let's get crazy. Let's talk about these. Okay, Takaya. He was so interesting looking right off the bat. I always knew he was gonna be such, just by his design, just being so pale and sickly without a shirt. He is insane. I love how he's just straight up the most like demonic person I've met in the game. Like straight up kills Shinji, was about to kill Ken, shot Junpei. Bro, he's insane. He's insane, and I kind of like him because of that unpredictability factor that he brings in is really cool. I also found that little mysterious backstory he had with Jin and Chidori interesting. But like that's the extent to I really know about him. Like he's kind of cool, but at the same time, I didn't really like he's not like Thanos level of villain where I really like what he's thinking and I think he's cool. But more so it's because I just like the unpredictability factor. Caroline and Justine, on the other hand, are two characters I adore them. They are my favorite Velvet Attendants. They are so funny. I just love the way their personalities contrast so much, like their tendencies, right? It creates a funny dynamic. And so now the fact in Persona 5 Royal, you can actually like go to the aquarium with them and stuff. You can chill with them a little more, get to know them better, which is nice because they're such goofballs. Like it's just pure funny. So I like them. They're wholesome, but at the same time, they're very involved in the plot too. Later on, that whole connection they make and like becoming Lavenza is just the coolest thing. I like them a lot. I'm gonna have to go with the twins for this one, just because I think they're more funny. I like their presence more than like Takaya's. I feel stressed when I see Takaya, and sometimes he's boring. The twins are always a good time. They're funny. So yeah, I don't know. They're not. Neither of them are like main ass characters. So like at this rate, I think I'm just gonna go with Caroline and Justine because I like them more. Next we got Ooh La La. Ooh La La. I like the name. And Chihiro. See, the thing is, I met Chihiro in Persona 3 and she was alright, but ooh la la, that name, just so much power in it already. I can tell she's better confidant than Chihiro, so we're gonna go with ooh la la. Good job. Next we got Daddy Dojima versus Sophia. And now for round 2, we got Adachi versus Ryoji. This one's more interesting. Okay, so Adachi. Let's start over. At first, I loved Adachi. He was such a goof. Like, I think he was so treated poorly by Dojima. And I felt bad for him. You know, he was just trying to do his best. He was just out there. But then, bro, when he was revealed to be the killer at the end, oh, that blew my mind. Adachi? Him? This fucking idiot? Wow. Like, that was insane. And then after that, his whole thing about like how he reveals he's a psycho and just kind of how he collapses mentally at the end was insane to watch. I really enjoyed that. And then there's Ryoji, who he kind of has this very, like, when you think about it, kind of similar arc, right? Because they start out, Ryoji starts out as this character that's just like hitting on girls, super Chad, you know, gets all the chicks at first. He's not a threat. I guess just kind of feels weird about him, but yeah, I guess you kind of have that in the back of your mind. There's nothing really that throws you off from him. And then, dude, then you discover that he's actually like this death machine, and he plays a big role with Nyx and everything. And so, no. He's a very interesting character in the end because he puts on this really calm persona, right? Like before he was a goof, he was a Chad, does what he wants. Then, dude, all the fucking gloves came off and he was cool again. And it was just interesting, and the way he talked to the MC, like, dude, you sure about this? Like, just kill me. Like, it'll make your life so much easier. And so I think that more morbid aspect of him was super interesting to witness. But at the same time, I think I'm gonna have to go with Adachi, just because he was there for the game longer. I kind of knew him, and like that was way more shocking to see for me, that he was insane rather than Ryoji being like, you know, an avatar of Nyx. So yeah, despite both of these two having like huge roles in the game, you actually don't see him much overall compared to like the main cast. And so for me, I'm gonna have to go with Adachi for this one. Next, we got Igor versus Marie. So Igor, I actually met him for the first time in Persona 5, where he had this super deep-ass, sexy-ass voice. And gosh, I thought he was the coolest thing, this mysterious, long-nosed weirdo just telling me things about rehabilitation. I thought it was the sickest thing. But then, I don't know, man, when they revealed his actual voice, and I found out it was his voice like the whole time in Persona 4 and 3, I was a little underwhelmed. Like, the voice really carried this man in the beginning. And so, based on who he is, I don't know. I think he's interesting, but he's just like, I don't know, like he's just he doesn't really have a role, you know? He's just fucking Igor. He's just like, yo, what's up, bitch? You got personas for me? And that's it. Meanwhile, Marie is super cringe. Gosh, Marie is by far my least favorite Velvet attendant, because I think this whole thing she had going on with the amnesia was just something that didn't roll with me. I don't like that trope, and so it just felt super forced, and not even forced, but it was just so boring to watch. I didn't enjoy watching her confidant, and I love confidants for the most part, but this one, man, I really could, like, when I replayed the game, Marie was the only confidant I made to level 10 and skipped every single part because I just couldn't handle it again. Couldn't do it. She's not entertaining. She's kind of mean, but in like a cringe way, and it's like not even, I think it's supposed to be cute. It's not cute. It's cringe. And no, I don't like Marie. And so between these two peeps in the Velvet Room, I'm definitely gonna have to go with Igor with this one. Next we got Katsuya versus Caroline and Justine. I don't know who Katsuya is. The twins win. Next we got Ooh La La versus Dojima. Come on, man. I like the name Ooh La La, but at the same time, Daddy Dojima, come on. Like, let's not even entertain this. Dojima wins. Next we got Big Adachi versus Igor. Okay, so now thinking about this, Adachi, you know, plays a key role in one game where he is just this guy that, again, is a killer, but pretends to not be a killer this whole time while trying to befriend you at one point. So it's just super interesting to see his whole dynamic change. Meanwhile, Igor is in every single game, but at the same time, I wouldn't call Igor my homie. You're not friends with Igor. Igor just exists. And you go to him every once in a while and he's like, yo, you got this, by the way. And so it's like, Igor's not really that special to me. I don't think he's that cool, unless it's Persona 5, but that wasn't even him. That's the thing. So yeah, I feel like Adachi, I think he just takes it more for me. I like him as a character. I think he's interesting. And so, yeah, Adachi wins this round. And now we got the twins versus Dojima, man. So I talked about the twins earlier, so let me move on to Dojima. I love Dojima as a character. He is such a kind father figure in the beginning. Like, Sojiro treats you like shit. He is such an asshole. Meanwhile, Dojima's like, yo, I changed your diapers in the beginning. And it's so cute. Like, him and Nanako have just such an interesting relationship. Like, yeah, Dojima's kind of an asshole to her sometimes, but at the same time, like, he went through this whole traumatic thing with his wife, and it's so, like, the way he talks about Nanako and that he sees his wife in her, it's just so painful, man. He has such a great, in-depth confidant, 100% I think more complex than what Sojiro's was, because this whole thing, again, with Nanako, just creates a much more interested story. You're more invested in them. And the fact that it intertwines, right? You can do Dojima's confidant and learn more about him and his wife, and then you can do Nanako's confidant and you can learn more about Dojima that way as well. So it's like you learn so much about this man. He grows with you. He ends up trusting you even though he like questions you a bit, and those moments where he questions you, man, oh, it hurts. It hurts because it feels like you're betraying his trust. But at the same time, he learns to trust you in the end. He believes in you. You save him. You help him out. And he's just great. He's super great father figure. I really enjoy his presence. And while the twins are cool, again, they're not... They're funny. You know, I feel like they're comedic relief a lot of the time. You know, that's really what they are. They're cool Velvet attendants. But I don't think it compares to the father figure you're supposed to have in the game. And so this, for me, is definitely just going to go to Dojima. And now we have the finals. Ironic that it ends up being Big Adachi versus Dojima. Wow, in-game canon, everything you want, baby. And so the two partners are a very interesting dynamic when they're police officers, right? In this moment, like, Adachi is such a... Like, he takes so much shit from Dojima. This is where I kind of don't like Dojima as much. Like, I feel like he's just like a hard ass for Adachi for no reason sometimes. Like, yeah, he cares about him throughout. Like, you can see moments he has a soft spot for him, but at the same time, like, no. He's gonna be an asshole to Adachi when he can. And while this does make you more sympathetic to Adachi at some points, it's like, Dojima's your father, you know? Like, some cool guy, yeah, like Adachi is. He does his thing, is a psycho, whatever. He's interesting to the story. Dojima is there for you. He is your father. There's just absolutely no way I cannot go with Dojima for this one. And so yeah, no, 100% Dojima had a super easy bracket too. Not much competition in this bracket. Was kind of weak, unfortunately, but at the same time, at least it made it quicker, right? So, again, Dojima is the champ. He moves on while the others are in the dust. Good stuff. I'm going to see you next time. We're going to work on the next bracket coming up soon.